Hey guys, it's me, Kyle, again. Sorry about the gap in between videos. Just been really busy with school and stuff. So, first and foremost, that's good. I have, I'm seeing, oh goodness, I can't think. I'm gonna, this series, I guess, I don't know what to call it. I'm thinking of naming it, Behind Blind Eyes, kind of like an allusion to the, Behind Blue Eyes by The Who. Don't know what you guys think. If you like the idea, I think it's, just come up with something better. If you have suggestions, leave in the comments, Anyway, so, what I'm going to talk about today, sorry, there's an itch on my back, is how this came about, how I lost my sight, and the whole spiel. So, basically, I was born about 18 and a half years ago, however long ago. And so, when I was born, I didn't know that, well, obviously I didn't know this, but my parents didn't know, the doctors didn't know that I couldn't see out of my right eye. Or at least, this is just what my ophthalmologist, Dr. Barakal, believes. I mean, when I was born, I couldn't see at all out of my right eye. My retina was detached, because I was born with a disease called FEVR. It's an acronym, and it's FEVR, and it stands for Familial Exudative Vitreous Retinopathy. And basically that's just fancy talk for my retinas are messed up. It's just, it's a big fancy science term, and basically it's just leading to I have really messed up retinas that detach very easily. And so in my case, I was, at least to what my doctor believes, I don't know, I trust her opinion, she's an expert for a reason, that I was born with my right eye's retina detached, so I couldn't see anything. And the reason no one caught on to this, until I was 8 years old, that's when we finally figured out that, hold on, something is not right, is that I acted completely normal all the way up until that time. I acted like any normal kid. I ran around, I played sports with my family, I played video games, I watched TV, I fought with my brothers. I acted very normal, and nothing was out of the ordinary. When I was 8 years old, I went in for my yearly physical, and then they realized that with my left eye, I was cheating when I was being tested on my right eye's vision. You know how they ask you to cover one eye and then check with the chart with the other? Well, I don't remember this. This is 10 years ago, so I'm not going to remember this specific detail. But from what they remember, at least my parents and what I guess the nurse or doctor told them, is that when my left eye was covered, I would peek through my fingers or my hand or whatever, and look at what the words were with my left eye when I was supposed to be reading with my right, because I couldn't see out of my right. My guess is that I thought I'd get in trouble or something if I didn't do well on the test, so, I don't know. That's just my guess of what I was thinking back then as an 8-year-old child. Only concerned with getting in trouble, as most kids are. So anyway, they referred me to an eye hospital, Bascom Palmer Eye Institute. That's where I met my ophthalmologist, Dr. Barakal, and then she just, she worked, did a couple of surgeries that year when I was in 3rd grade. I missed some school. I had to be face down because what happened with the surgeries to repair my eyes. Part of the surgery is the recovery. I had to be laying face down. That was not fun. It wasn't painful or anything, or it was at times, but that's beside the point. It was just kind of boring. And so, then that happened, and afterwards I had to start wearing glasses too, and just, everything was pretty much normal after that for the next couple of years, 3 or so years. And then once I got to 6th grade, when I was 11, I had to go in for another surgery towards the end of the school year. I missed the last 2 weeks of school. And then I had, if I'm not mistaken, I had 1 or 2 more surgeries in the summer. So I had 3 surgeries when I was in 3rd grade, and then I had, I believe, 2 surgeries in the time and during the summer of between 6th and 7th grade. When I got to 7th grade, I had to go into the ophthalmology clinic once a week, every Thursday. And that to most middle schoolers, I was like, oh, I'm missing school, yay, I don't have to go to school once a week. It kind of made it hard for me to, keep pace with my peers, and so I think I fell a little bit behind. I don't know. I was still doing okay, but I feel like I fell a little bit behind that year. I'm not sure. But, so then no, I'm not trying to make excuses, it's just, I think that's what happened. Anyway, so sorry, I just lost my train of thought. So, no, went through 7th grade, no surgeries, I can recall. And so, when, I got to 8th grade, and by 7th grade, that's when I started getting, disability services. Like, I was enrolled into special education. I still went to normal classes and stuff, I just got, different services. I was getting, some just kind of education on how to use different technology and access like large print and stuff. Just kind of, it was really helpful. It's just kind of I was still on the whole a normal student. So then 8th grade comes around, and my TVI, I'm going to talk about her and my mobility specialist in a different video, but I'm just going to mention her briefly. Her name was Eddie Ryan, and I had her all the way from 8th grade all the way up until graduation, until I graduated high school. And I had her and Mr. Schwartz, Jeff Schwartz. They were both really awesome. I'm not going to get into it too much because I got into it last video, or I got too much into the video I tried to make before this one, and the video was like 20 minutes long when I got all mushy with, my family and all that stuff. So I'll get into that like another video. And so, I 8th grade came up. I was doing okay. I was doing, I guess, practicing my typing skills because they were trying to get me ready to use a laptop instead of writing my notes down, because when I wrote my notes, it was really poor. It was like completely illegible, and just, you could not read it. I could barely read it. I wrote all over the place. I would write through the lines, and so, sorry, face itching, and you could not understand what I was writing. So then, about December of 8th grade, so December of 2007, I had to go in for another surgery. Okay, not a big deal. I was kind of used to it by now. And then I had to go and then I had to lay face down again. It was one of those surgeries. And then so I was recovering for a couple of weeks, and I ended up having to be face down for longer than I thought I had to be. And so it was a couple weeks into January. I think it was like halfway through January, maybe towards the end of January. Can't remember if it was then or the beginning of February. But it was the beginning of 2008. And I was, I was like, oh, can I go back to school next day or tomorrow? I don't know why I wanted to go back to school, but, whatever. So I was like, I don't know, we'll talk to Dr. Barakal about it, see. I was like, oh, okay, good. Next morning, it's, really just, I was caught by surprise, and I'm never going to forget this. Next morning, I woke up. I could not see anything. It wasn't like all black, but it was just like completely blurry, completely fuzzy. I could not make out anything. Before, I had some vision, because as it went through, I was losing more and more vision from the time I was born to the time I was 13. And by the time I was 13, I was legally blind, which is 2400 acuity, which you can still see, but I'm pretty sure you can't drive, you can't read normal print, you have to either have some form of screen enlarging, or text enlarging, or to have just large text, period. So, I had some vision, but I didn't have that much. And then, just one night, I lost what remaining vision I had. And I was just reduced to blur and fuzz and completely, I couldn't make sense of anything. So my mom, dad, and I, we rushed over to Baskin Palmer. The my ophthalmologist, her assistant, or I still can't remember exactly what his title was, but his name was Dr. Rich. He was really nice. You know, he became like a really good family friend, and he was just a really great guy. And then he was the one who was observing me to see what was wrong, because I believe Dr. Barrick was looking at another patient or something, and he looked at me, and he was just, from what my parents told me, he was completely heartbroken, because what had happened was my retina had detached again, and that's what caused me to lose my vision. So he had to be the one to tell my parents that, and then Dr. Barrick came in and she confirmed it. So they took me up to the OR, brought me in for another surgery. I can't remember if it was that day, but I'm pretty sure it was. So I went in, surgery again, had to lay face down, and I was in surgery on and off for the next couple months. And so I had it was completely surprising, because at that point I had never been blind before. I just couldn't see well. At that point I was blind, and so I had to start learning Braille and learning how to use blindness technology and using a cane and all this stuff, and it was a really weird transition. And this is when I met Mr. Schwartz, because he became my O&M instructor, my orientation mobility instructor. Mrs. Ryan was helping with my Braille technology. And so I had to learn Braille, literary Braille code, and math Braille code called Nimith. And so I was getting, I guess, like kind of hospital homebound. It's kind of equivocal to homeschooling in a sense, but not exactly. It's just for students who have medical reasons why they can't attend public school. So then, slowly, and for whatever reason, my right eye started to regain vision. I know I'm kind of trying to speed it up because I'm coming up. I've only have a couple minutes left, and there's still so much to say. But coming up, just over the couple of months I had left in school, for whatever reason, my right eye started to regain vision. And keep in mind, for 13 years, I'm pretty sure, for 13 years I had no vision in my right eye. Just absolutely none. Nothing. And then all of a sudden my left eye, I lose all my vision, and then my right eye starts to regain vision, and that's the eye I see out of today. Or I kind of see out of today. So I lost all this vision, and now I was getting some of it back, and that was wonderful, I was not expecting it. So, and then I learned Braille, I learned the technology, I learned how to use my cane, I had some vision, I entered high school, I started to do, and then I started to actually move along, and I was finally getting accustomed to being blind, and I was going through high school, and high school went great. I think I did pretty well, at least I like to believe I did. I made a bunch of really great friends, and it was just, I had a normal teenage experience in high school. I had friends, I went out and hung out with them, and everything was great. I finally, blended back into being blind, because for a couple of years, I had been kind of just, I always felt a little like a black sheep in a flock. Just that I'd always been different, because I always was visually impaired. But now I kind of just, blended back in with the rest of the world, or with the rest of the, my peers. That's really great. So, and then now I'm in college, I'm a normal adult, and that's just kind of what happened over the past 18 years with my vision. I'm sorry, I know it's not too enthusiastic, too awe-inspiring of a story. It's kind of boring. I'm sorry, I'm at a 15-minute time constraint, so I can't get into a lot of detail. So I'll try. If there's any details you guys want to go into specific of, I will go. Or if you have any questions, leave a comment. Subscribe, all that good stuff. And, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it helps you in some way, or someone you know or something. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye.